Mr. President, given what you've said about Gaza, did the U.S. send troops to help secure the security vacuum?
As far as Gaza is concerned, we'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that.
It's been made very clear to the president that the United States needs to be involved in this rebuilding effort to ensure stability in the region for all people. But that does not mean boots on the ground in Gaza. It does not mean American taxpayers will be funding this effort.
He did not rule out American troops in Gaza last night. Are you doing that now?
I am saying that the president has not committed to that just yet.
Well, it appears that he's now committing to it because, well, in early February, President Donald Trump suggested that the United States would send troops to Gaza. We would have boots on the ground to essentially assist Israel in ethnically cleansing Palestinians from the land that belongs to them. But today, Trump stated, that whole idea is back on, even though following backlash in February, he kind of backed off that message, Cenk. So during a sit down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today, Donald Trump said this.
The IDF is fighting again in the Gaza Strip. I myself might be called up in a month. Do you think that's the way to pressure Hamas to get to a deal? And do you think blocking humanitarian aid is also an effective pressure tactic?
Well, you know how I feel about the Gaza Strip. I think it's an incredible piece of important real estate. And I think it's something that we would be involved in, but having a peace force like the United States there, controlling and owning the Gaza Strip would be a good thing.
So in other words, we're going to send the men and women of our armed forces to the Gaza Strip, boots on the ground, to serve as a peace force because Donald Trump sees the Gaza Strip as a very important piece of real estate. It's disgusting. Like, this whole thing is so utterly disgusting. Yeah. Absolutely. Not only is the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians disgusting, Cenk, but the idea of us, potentially risking the lives of our soldiers. Let's keep it real, on behalf of Israel. That's what this is really about. You think Israel's gonna be like, yeah, this belongs to the United States, which, by the way, I don't want it. Even if that was true, I wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
But it's not about the United States owning important real estate. This is about doing favors for Israel, in which, by the way, Donald Trump has been doing an excellent job looking out for his homie, Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get a lot into that. But first, on slightly lighter note, Spider-Man Dragon writes on TYT.com, I guess Netanyahu will get his own room in the White House. I mean, he's there more than Melania. It does certainly seem that way. And Trump is certainly more polite to Netanyahu than he is to Melania. He holds Netanyahu's seat in. I'm not sure Melania gets similar treatment. So now, why is he so cozy with him? Look, obviously, we'll tell you again, he's gotten $337 million from just the Adelson family. Sheldon, who's now deceased, and Miriam, his widow, are very pro-right wing Israel, maniacally pro-Netanyahu. And in fact, Miriam is also an Israeli citizen. So he's literally getting his orders from an Israeli.
She should go live in Israel then.
Yeah, she should. Look,
like, why aren't you living in Israel? If Israel is so important, it's your #1 priority, go live in Israel. What are you doing on our land, on our soil, advocating for a foreign country? Go live over there.
And by the way, the Adelsons make most of their money in China, in Macau, China, where they have giant casinos. So she could also live in China, she could serve China or Israel. But since she gave President Trump 137 million in this last go around, to add to the 200 her husband gave him, he does whatever they order him to do. By the way, if you think I'm wrong and that Trump is not affected by $337 million, and that there's a different reason why he's doing whatever Netanyahu orders him to do, okay, no problem, right? But what is clear is the result. So he said that ridiculous thing about how we were gonna go control Gaza. We showed you some of the tape, but he even said we're going to get rid of the unexploded bombs in Gaza that Israel dropped, by the way, also paid for us. We paid to drop the bombs, or would pay to clean up the bombs, but most importantly, we'd pay with our lives, because the precious IDF shouldn't get hurt by those unexploded bombs. American soldiers should die instead. So that was his first proposal. Yep. There's a ton of pushback from MAGA, and he at least walked back the boots on the ground in Gaza, or so it seemed.
But then his daddy visited him.
Exactly.
In the White House.
So Netanyahu came this time around, and apparently with a belt, And so after he beat Trump inside the Oval Office a little bit, or did whatever he did to him, hey, we'll give you more money, or we'll threaten to do X, Y, or Z, whatever he's got, magically Trump comes back out and is like, the US is going to control Gaza. Now this is important. First of all, to owning the Gaza, you'd have to be the biggest sucker in the world if you think that Netanyahu wants us to get rid of all the Palestinians, drive them out, and then just keep it instead of giving it back to Israel. I can't believe anybody would be that stupid and gullible as to believe that. No, this is all done in favor of Israel, at the behest of Israel. Israel will get that land 100% in that scenario. If you don't believe that, you're an idiot, okay, and have not followed politics at all in our lifetimes. Okay, now, so
by
why?
The way, I gotta jump in before you finish that. This is, by the way, what Trump is saying after Israel killed another American citizen in the West Bank, a story we'll get to in a little bit. Any words for the American that was killed by Israelis, Donald Trump? No, the American doesn't matter? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, that's the third American in just the last couple of months in the West Bank. The IDF and the settlers are killing the Palestinians in the West Bank. That had nothing to do with October 7th. At a record pace, they're also displacing them at a record pace. They're trying to right now annex Gaza and portions of the West Bank, and we're supposed to pay for all this, and if it creates any more wars, we pay for that. We blame all the Muslims, we blame the Palestinians, we blame the Christians, we blame everyone, but not Israel. We do everything they want. But then now, the most important part is the word control. Right? So forget own, that is a 0% chance we're gonna own it. So why are they emphasizing control? Because in order to occupy Gaza, they have to actually get the Palestinians out. And so getting the Palestinians, there's over 2 million of them. Getting them out is literal genocide, literal ethnic cleansing, and it is nearly impossible. So Netanyahu doesn't want the IDF to do that. That's messy, they'll get blamed for it, and a lot of them will die, and they don't want that. So he wants America to do his dirty work for him.
Yep.
So he's like, come in here. How many times do I have to order you, Donald, okay? Don't make me take out the belt again like I did to Biden. Don't make me strap it around you and walk you around the goddamn park. I told you, you will drive out the Palestinians and control Gaza, and then you'll hand it back to me, and then I'll give you some real estate deal. We'll put a Trump Tower on there, and everybody's a winner, except all of American citizens, except Palestine, the Palestinians, and the whole world. So I'd like one American leader to prove that Israel doesn't control us. Go ahead.
I want to go to one more video. Again, this is Donald Trump sitting right next to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and talking about the future of Gaza and the United States' role in it.
For years and years, all I hear about is killing and Hamas and problems. And if you take the people, the Palestinians, and move them around to different countries, and you have plenty of countries that will do that, and you really have a freedom zone. You call it the freedom zone, a free zone, a zone where people aren't going to be killed every day. That's a hell of a place. It's you know what I call it, a great location that nobody wants to live in, because they really don't. And when they have good living, real living, where Hamas and all of the problems they have, the level of death on the Gaza Strip is just incredible. And I've said it. I don't understand why Israel ever gave it up. Israel owned it. It wasn't this man, so I can say it. He wouldn't have given it up. I know him very well. There's no way. They took oceanfront property and they gave it to people for peace. How did that work out? Not good.
Oh my God. No, Israelis want to live there. Israelis want to live there. I love how he's like, oh, nobody wants to live there. No, Israelis want to live there. The Israeli government is getting you dumbass, to do the dirty work for them.
Yeah, you know who else wants to live there?
Jesus.
Palestinians. The ones that we're slaughtering right now, they want to live there. Israel killed another 50 people today. Why? Because it's a slaughterhouse. And you know, this is the 18-month anniversary of October 7th. A year and a half later, they're still pretending this is about October 7th.
It's ridiculous.
They murdered 50 people today, pretending it was about something that happened a year and a half ago that they knew 100% was gonna happen, they allowed to happen. Oh, do we have an excuse to slaughter the Palestinians and take their land? Oh, a year and a half later. Oh, are we gonna make America pay for all of it? So here, give me another 20 billion, give me another 4 billion. He calls it a freedom zone. Yeah. the Palestinians are free to die. They're free to get moved out. Then the land will be free of the Palestinians. And oh, by the way, we're free to get robbed by Israel day in, day out, year in, year out.
That's right.
And then we'll be free of our money. And then Israel will use our money to slaughter more Palestinians or make us slaughter more Palestinians and have the whole world hate us and then have other Muslims attack us because of what we've done to the Palestinians and then go, you see how the Muslims are such radicals. They hate the West. You have to murder all the Muslims because they hate the West. They don't hate the West. They hate Israel because Israel keeps slaughtering Muslims and Christians, by the way, and taking their land. That's not complicated to figure out. And he takes that steaming pile of crap, he dumps it on America's lap and goes, let the American taxpayers deal with it and sending your guys to die instead of the beloved IDF. Do my dirty work for me, dog. And Donald Trump goes, rah, 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 and runs after his master.
During that press conference, when Trump was asked about the voters who wanted him to end the war in Gaza, not aid and abet the war in Gaza, or on Gaza, I should say, Trump says the war will stop at some point, but that point won't be, that won't be in the too distant future.
Yeah, that doesn't mean. What does that mean? What does that mean?
No, you're gonna do what Israel wants you to do, like a good boy. So, I mean, that's what he's done so far. Congratulations, you're a good boy for Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government. Absolutely embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the American people that the leader of this country is aiding and abetting a genocide in Gaza and acting like a little bitch for Netanyahu. I thought he would be, I don't know, a little more, I thought he would maybe care about appearing strong more than Biden did. But no, I guess he's willing to be a bitch. And that's exactly what he is right now in regard to this issue. It's absolutely pathetic and embarrassing.
I think there's some chance that at some point Netanyahu will literally pat him on the head.
Oh, why wouldn't he?
Because he's treating him just like he did with Biden. Like, look at this little boy that I bought.
It's pathetic.
Okay, hey, walk around the park for me, okay, Donnie Doggy. And by the way, Trump's still talking about oceanfront property. And he's so stupid. Netanyahu, I guarantee you, Netanyahu was like, oh, it'll be Trump Towers. It's a beautiful oceanfront property. Remember Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, was talking about that. He's like, they're beautiful oceanfront property. Why shouldn't we build there? Remember, after you murder all the Palestinians on our behalf and start several different wars against America, and you pay trillions of dollars in that direction, let alone lives lost, don't worry, we'll give you a Trump Tower or two on the oceanfront. And that's what this dog is chasing after. So lastly, there's a perfect example of a place where you have to separate out the leaders from the voters, okay? So a lot of Trump voters will agree with Trump, and you'll see them all over social media going, oh yeah, the Palestinians don't belong there anyway, and we're gonna have the Riviera, and it's gonna be awesome, and Trump's a genius, and he has all this figured out. He's gonna magically move out all the Palestinians to nicer places that they wanna go in these countries. None of that is true, okay? But there's also a huge section of Trump voters who are like, we said America first. We didn't say Israel first. And I'm really tired of this crap. I'm tired of paying for it. Some of them have moral qualms about what's happening to the Palestinians, but mainly it gets under their skin that this is obviously not America first, okay? And they have eyes and ears. So when you told them Biden was young, they didn't believe you. When you told them Biden was standing up to Israel, they didn't believe you. And now when Trump says, I'm standing up for America first, and I'm standing up to Israel, but like their dog, I will do anything they command me, they have eyes and ears. So that portion of independents and MAGA are not interested in this at all. Instead of yelling at those guys, let's make them our allies.
Yep.
And unite in favor of America and not Israel.
Damn right.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.